Evening all, and welcome back to Factory Town. There's going to be a change or two. As was mentioned in the last episode in the comments by Travis Statlock, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name terribly wrong there. Rather than having beef here, if we go to leather, it becomes a lot more useful. So I'm going to switch over to that straight away. Leather can be made into outfits, which sells for a lot. And also, we need leather for upgrading the base and for books and pieces, so thank you for that. That's a fantastic suggestion. I'm going to jump onto that. I've also noticed that between the games, my wagon here has stopped for some reason. He's still got his command, but for some reason he's just stopped, and I can't even move him. He's completely stuck. So I'm going to grab him like that and get him off on... No, apparently he cannot. He can no longer go across the fields by the looks of it. That's probably because when you place the fields first time, they don't actually register that they're a field. That's probably a weird way of saying that, but the car can go through there because they're brand new. Then when you reload the game, it actually registers that tile as being a field. So that's not going to work. I'm going to then build a little ramp for him and see whether we can do it with that. Would be quite nice. Let's have a look, see here. I'll go with an arc. I'll go... looks good, and we'll go to 1, then we will switch over to pressing the right buttons, the scaffold block, that, and stick a footpath on it, because that's fast enough as far as I'm concerned. Now you that. Yes, you can. Awesome. Right. And you can deliver up there. Not that we need to. We don't actually need to put the fertilizer into the farm because it's not harvesting fast enough yet, because we're not outputting fast enough. But we'll get to the point where we may do. So doing that. And also it keeps the barn empty. That's keeps the barn dropping down a bit. Right. So to make outfits. Outfits are made in a workshop. We have 2 workshops there, which I'm going to actually get rid of. Let's have a look here. It requires cloth and it requires leather. So we will need another pasture. That is a little bit awkward to do at the moment with this setup. I've sort of come to look at this and realised that it's not the best setup in the world for what I've done. It's good for the water, but it's going to be very difficult to have the grain get into the pastures as we go along. Probably put the grain mill down there. Let's do that now. Let's stop that. We'll let that empty off, and we shall move the grain mill to there. We can then have the animal feed coming along the coast, with all our pastures can be parked on the coast and one line of animal feed going on there, and then we can have the pastures send things up. So we can have one doing cloth, for instance, wool, one doing leather like it is right now. So that's good. I am going to get one of these carts to grab the apples and feed them to there, just to use them up a little bit. That will get that little worker doing some bits and pieces there. And also we need to look at our forester. We can't plant trees yet, which is awkward. So we can't increase the forester's speed or anything yet. Probably not a bad thing though, because I don't think our foresters really running anything at major speeds, but oh, wow, that's done already. Okay, so we'll copy that and have that. Then we'll remove that framing. And then we'll have you making animal feed. We'll turn you around, so, and we can just have a chute, can't we? Which would help if I did a straight chute. There we go. And then we want conveyor belts, which means we're going to need some scaffolding along here. That's not a problem. Run a load along there because we're going to need it in the future. And for the minute, we're just going to have that like that. I do want to unlock logistics. I think we're researching that, aren't we? Yes. That will give us some bonus things to make this line work. Because right now it doesn't technically work. So, yeah. Well, it works. It does the job. It just doesn't actually feed multiple pastures. Which is a bit of a problem. But, well, we'll get to that, I suppose. So we need to finish that research, and we also need to be getting red coins to make our forester go. And in order to get that all going, I'm going to need to finish the research first. So let's do that. Let's get the research working. It's going to be pretty much the same build it was before, just moves over a bit, and maybe compressed a little bit as well. So we want the logs going into a lumber mill with water access to it so that it can create paper. That's what I want. That's all I want. I'm not actually going to do the whole into a barn thing. I don't think that's a good idea. It's a good idea, but I just don't think it's needed. So if I want to put down a lumber mill, say there, I need to get water to there. We're going to do that by digging another canal. Oh, that's interesting. It dried up. Okay. That's very interesting. Right. I did not know you could run out of water. And I can't just place water either. That's a bit annoying. Can I... do that? There we go, and that fills up with water quite nicely because giant canal. I may in fact leave that there as well. It's not in an ideal position. I should have come in somewhere else, but for the moment I'm going to leave it there so we've got access to water of some description. So, right. If I then grab a lumber mill, say we want it there facing down, I think. Make paper. Yes, yeah, they're going down. And then we'll dig a trench in. Fill. Not auto feed. Why are we not auto feed? There we go. There we go. Water level is too low. Okay. Not ideal. There is something I actually want to test. Something I do want to test. My brain's just suddenly gone, I wonder whether that will work. I was going to leave that trench there, and I've just completely removed that. That's not why we not. I have to remove those. Yeah, right. Okay. Right. But what I want to do is I want to grab some scaffold blocks, and I want to fill this in. And then put the lumber mill on top. So we'll copy that lumber mill and we'll place it on top, and he does. He does. No, he doesn't. So putting him directly on top of water, it does not work. You will not get water coming into him. That's a bit of a shame. I'm honest. It would be really nice if it would do that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's not how it's going to go. We're going to have to do it in a different way, I suppose. I mean, I'm going to have the chute come out of here, chute come down there, and go that way. Because that covers, that's the range of that there. That means that trees will be on one side and be on the other. Doesn't mean nobody can get through here. That could be awkward. Maybe I should turn that around. Let's do that. Let's turn this round, facing that way. We will remove the trees, which is probably not the best thing to do, but that's what I'm going to do. And remove those trees there. I'm going to remove the scaffolding from here, and if I then say you come along here and fill up as time goes on, so, and then we go and grab lumber mill. We want to put it there, but I need to remove those 3 trees there. Apple tree. That's fine. That's fine. Right, put it there. There we go. So it is on stilts. It is on a bit of water. It hides a little bit of water underneath the barn, which is fine. We'll put scaffold blocks on top. There we go. And then we can just go, you do that, and you can then produce paper, and you might as well go. Go. You're not going very fast yet. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Some of these tiles are wet. Oh yes, because I dug the trench. Yes, of course. So you are now filling up with all sorts of stuff. Right. You're taking apples. That's fine. You're fine. You take paper and put it in there, and remove that building. And you, worker, can work on apple trees. Oh. Okay. So we can technically make books straight away here. It might not be a bad idea. Let's see. Yeah. Let's put a workshop in the center of these two somewhere here. In fact, let's not. Let's remove that workshop and change this one to be in books, and then say you take paper to there. You take leather to there. You make books, and then you take books to there. That's unlocked yet. Ah, yes, of course. I've lost the ability to build roads, so I don't have a stonemason now. That's fine. So you're gonna paper. You're going extremely slowly. Everything's going slowly. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But books give you 10 rather than 1. And you see there, it says on the tooltip. Paper gives you 1, book gives you 10, enchanted books give you 20. So instead of just having, when you put a paper in here, you do 1, you get 10 for it. Which is good because it's only 4 bits of paper. So you're over doubling what you're doing. 4 bits of paper and a bit of leather. That's all good. That's all good. We do need a way to make this faster. In 10 workers in there. Going to eat our red supply very, very quickly. But let's see. Right now slows down to about 4. Actually going to bring everything to a halt, isn't it? 3. It's finding the balance. Are 2 workers in the forester enough to feed the lumber mill with 1 worker in it? Or do I need 3? Will that start dropping down? Doesn't look as if it is. It looks as if it's 2 is keeping up with it. Obviously I've cracked it up to 10 just to cap it all out and get it all going. You can see the wood there is disappearing and it's stopping just for a brief moment sometimes to get going. So that's awesome. That's all good. That means our logistics will be done very soon and we can get on to doing cloth again as well, which is important. We need cloth and leather. This iron ore is definitely in the way here. I do need to gather that, but it's difficult to do because you see 1 block there is like 500 iron ore and a barn only holds a maximum of 400 items. 200 items, so that there would be 2.5 barns plus, so yeah, a bit difficult. I also can turn this right back down, I think to just 1, to be honest with you. No, it's not quite right. 2, or did we already figure out the balance on this one? I think 2 seems about right. There we go, 2's just keeping that going. Storage barn is slowly filling up by the looks of it. Right. You are full on fertilizer because the farm no longer needs any because it's full. So we've come to our first bottleneck where we just quite simply don't have space for fertilizer. That is annoying. How do I go about doing? I've also realised I built this in a very bad way because if I was to put a pasture there, well, I'm not going to put a pasture there, but it's difficult to go up. I have a pasture here. I do kind of want to move that farm. I want to move it over to there. And I think I'm going to have a barn full of leather, a barn full of cloth, basically a barn for each one of these things here, and then a barn with fertilizer in it. Not that we can actually void stuff. I can manually void stuff, so that's an option, but we don't have anything yet which can auto void things. Right, so this is going slowly. I could speed this right up. Do that, speed that up. Get some more paper. Because each one of these carts is only making 1 book. So maybe if I had 2 carts doing that, I could do it. I don't know. Right. And we'll grab a worker and tell you to do leather. Because that makes sense. 4 to 1. That makes sense. And that's closer, so that's going to speed up. See, this is actually now running out of supplies, so it's not running fast enough. And the lumber mill is actually producing paper faster than the forest that is cutting down trees. But that's fine. That is fine. We are going to probably have a little bit of a fallback here, but then we can speed this up with workers. But here we go. Right, we have intermediate logistics. Pusher's the important one, and grabber. Grabbers are fantastic, absolutely fantastic, as well as a splitter. Good. Right. So, and there's all these weird other ones as well, filters and bits and pieces that I don't understand. I'll be honest with you. Going to logistics. One way makes sense, right? Barrier gate obviously can block a path movement. Toggle with a switch. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. It physically blocks an area. It's an actual gate. So it would physically stop workers and carts getting to somewhere. Don't know if it works on conveyor belts. I'm not sure. You could cut off a conveyor belt. I'm not sure about the barrier gate. Yeah, one way is just one way. That basically just on paths it says one way. So you could have your paths, like I've got 2 paths here. You can have up and down. So carts that are coming down will always be on one side, and carts going up will be on the other. That makes sense. That does make sense. The sorter will force matching items to take a specified path and direction. The sorter, the pusher, the grabber, and the splitter are all kind of similar. The sorter, basically, you put. Let me show you. The sorter. If I change this, do that. Now our pasture's never going to get any food. We could feed it using either the sorter or the pusher or the splitter. The splitter is the easiest one. The splitter, basically, you put it down on a belt, and it will split items to go left, forward, and right. And it will just go one left, one forward, one right, one left, one forward, right, and round robin. That will go. You don't have to do a forward one. You can just split it left and right if you want to. For instance, if I put the splitter there, it would push one into the pasture, and then the rest will go on. So that's one way to do it. The pusher will force items in a certain direction. Whatever item is on the belt, it will force it that way if there's space. So that's a good thing. That sort of is that would probably be the best one here, because then it will just go, if there's space into there, force it in there. If not, then carry on. The sorter is like a pusher, but you can filter what items you want on it. So I could say, for instance, and I will use all of these in just a moment, that not this line here, but this line here, this could come along, and I could say, leather, go up to that barn, but fertilizer, go forward. Don't go up. So, and I'm gonna do that. That's pretty much what we're gonna do here in just a moment. But first, we need to feed this barn. So I'm going to use a pusher, point it the right direction. Boom, there we go, and that will now push items into there. And if there is no space for it to go that way, items will just ignore it and carry on. They don't stop dead. A sorter, as said, would work as well. Sorters are probably better for when you want to split things 2 ways. So if I had a pasture on this side as well, I could put a sorter in there and it would go left, right, and it would feed things better. That sort of way. Now we're going to, sorry, not a sorter, a splitter. But now we're going to use the sorter because I need to figure out this barn. We basically need to stop you. Stop. Completely stop. And we need to figure out this barn here. I need 2 barns. I need one barn which is going to be for my fertilizer, and another barn for leather, another barn for all that bits and pieces. We can also use the grabber here as well. The grabber's a really good thing. The grabber could be helpful for the farm as well, and we'll show you a little trick on that as well. So if I'm going to have one barn for each material, so a leather, a wool, a leather, a beef and a milk one, we then need somewhere to get rid of the fertilizer, don't we? Without the whole system clogging up, because it does clog up. We don't need to export the filters, the fertilizer. That can be ignored. That is kind of something we want to do here, actually. When that empties out, I can sort this out here. I need that barn to empty out a little bit. So the best way to do that is probably to build another barn. But let's think about this logically. I want to put a barn there for leather. Yep, barn there for leather. That's going to be a leather barn, so let's filter that to leather. You don't have to filter them. You don't have to put in the iron filter there. But if you do, it means that when you reorder, like if I reorder this wagon to go and do something else, like go and grab something else there, he will drop off his paper in whatever barn he can find. And if you didn't filter the barn to say that, and this barn was empty, he would drop paper in that barn because it's the nearest one. That's basically how it works. Right, we do need to research something else because we're full on bits and pieces here, and I want to empty that barn down. So let's go with the metal one. I cannot pronounce that word. Metallurgy. Yeah, because we need metal to plant trees, so that's a good thing. That will be a good thing. Right, okay. So that's done, that's done. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these off. And I'm going to turn this pasture around to face downwards. I need to double check whether you can actually feed a pasture that sort of way. I'm not sure. So let's do that there. And this one actually wants to become wool. I'll do it in order. That one's wool. That one's leather. Let's build the others as well. And that one there. Yep, that'll do. Right. Scaffolding. And let's see here. If I then, well, I'm going to turn these all off for the moment. All right. So wool, leather, beef, and milk. I'm not going to do the beef and milk ones just yet. I'm going to concentrate on the wool and leather to get the outfits working. Beef and milk is just, we can cook stuff, so that's fine. And all this is in the way here as well. This is a bit cramped how I'm doing things here. That workshop temporary, that's going to move. We have got lots of coal here and lots of iron as well. But we can work around things. Right, so let's grab a pusher and do that. And then let's do a conveyor belt there. Right, you cannot push into the output. So that means I need to rotate these all around whichever direction. Doesn't matter, so long as the output's not facing where I want it to be. Where I want the inputs to be. Right, so that's actually going to be wool. Got that wrong. That one's going to become cloth. That one's going to be moved over one. So we've got time yet. And then we're going to have we're not going to have I've just realised I can't put anything down here because actually, yes I can. Yes I can. And I can do that because I can build another bit of scaffold off here. Sorry, I'm sort of going ahead of myself a little bit here. I also want to move this all over by one, the whole lot of it, because there's not enough space in there for doing what I want to do. Things are going to be touching, and I don't like that. Damn it. Yeah, we're gonna lose a lot of animal feed, but we get rid of those. That one there, and then we're gonna put in some more pastures. I didn't need to do that. It's just that I like it looking good. So, right. So let's put in a barn there. That's going to become our fertilizer barn. Fertilizer. Do I have another cart laying around here? No, I don't. You're all doing things. But you can do that. You can do. No. Stop. You can do that. Pick fertilizer, put it in the barn. Right. And we can change this so that it could come directly to the barn. It doesn't have to keep going down to the ground. Also, moving it over one means that is a gap, so things can get past there, which is a good thing. So pastures. Right. So we want one there, one there. And then walk around. I should have done that to start with. That's in the wrong place. Even I can't follow my own rules. There we go. Right, that's better. So, wool, leather, beef, milk. Right. I've got all these here as well. Jeez. Keep forgetting I've got bits and pieces all over the place. Right, but we need to get this working. We need to get this. Okay, you're getting that. You haven't got animal feed, but that's fine. Okay. We need to empty that barn before I can get this working. But I can show you how it's going to work. Basically, I'm going to put a conveyor belt like that on each one. Move these roads here. And we'll have a barn there, barn there, barn there, and a barn there. So each one into a barn, and you'll notice that it's not on the actual output. Not on the output, it's on the side. And you're thinking, well, you can't grab things from the side, but you can. That's where the grabber comes into it. The grabber will grab things. That's exactly what it does. If you don't give it a filter, it will just grab whatever. I've got to say, I would personally prefer grabbers to be in the off state when you put them down, because sometimes they can grab the wrong things and cause all sorts of weird stuff going on. But if you filter stuff, you can go, well, I want to filter and grab things. So this is making milk. So I want to filter milk. And we'll put in grabber, and grabber. And this one is going to be beef. So we'll filter beef. There is beef. You'll notice as well, if you have a grabber selected and click another one, it links them. That's to do with switches. You can have toggle switches, so you can have one button you can click and it will turn all four of them off, and then that button can be set up automatically. We'll try and get into that, although I don't understand how logic works, if I'm honest with you, but but your beef, and you see it's got the symbols on them, which is very good. You're going to be leather. We'll grab leather with you. There. And there. To just cancel it, just press escape before you click on another one, so you're not linking them. I don't know what linking them does. I don't think it does anything bad, but just probably best to make sure. It's alright, so that will grab all of them out of there and then leave the fertilizer in the pastures, which is fine, because when they're full of fertilizer, they just carry on. They ignore it. They don't mind that. Don't mind fertilizer at all. So that would work. But we want the fertilizer. At least we want some of it. If we would fill up a single barn with fertilizer and then say whatever's left, just don't bother with, just don't worry about it. You know, it can just sit on the conveyor belts until time. Doesn't matter, because yeah, we don't have to void it because it's not that important. We can do that. We can do that if we grab some wooden arches or scaffold blocks or whatever you want to use, and you need to go up a couple. Research is complete. Awesome. Go up a couple. I think you need to go up more than. It might work with just 2. I think it will. Let's do 2. I'm also going to. In fact, you know what? No, I'm going to go up 3. And the reason I go up 3 is so that things can get underneath it. I think they can get underneath when it's just on 1. When it's too high, for instance. But it looks weird. So I'm going to go up to 3. And I'm going to build this out along here. 2. That one and that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a conveyor belt on here, all the way along, going into the house. Now, you can interact with buildings up to 3 levels high, although I think they're half levels, I'm not entirely sure. But if I grab that there, you see you can interact on the ground floor, on the first floor, second floor, and the third floor. So that sort of works. If you're American, then first floor might be the actual ground floor. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I'm British, so that's how it works for me. Basically, you can go on the ground floor, and then you can go 1, 2, and 3 up. You go 4 up, it will not work. You cannot interact with the building on the 4th level that I know of. Might have changed. I'm not sure. We will test that at some point. But because you can interact at 3 different levels, or at 4 different levels, including the ground one, you can input and output all different ones. So we can input here with fertilizer into the roof of the building. I could also turn this round like that, and I don't think that'll work because that's the output. But if I did that, for instance, then it looks a bit better. It looks as if it's actually going into like the window there, rather than the side of the roof. But the pasture is the same. Although it looks like it's only 1 tile tall, it's not. It is 3, 4, 5. You can see its hitbox there. It is just as tall as all the other buildings. They all have the same height hitbox. So you can extract from any one of those levels, which includes this one here. So if we was to get a grabber, if I can grab one of the grabbers, which I can't do because there, so we'll go to the build menu and do it. Logistic blocks grabber, and we want to grab that way. That means you're grabbing from behind the arrow, and it will land on the conveyor belt and then go along. You don't put it that way because that would grab from that block there. You want to do it that way, so it's grabbing from this block here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we basically want to assign all of these to fertilizer. And that, although looks a little weird, will work. Will actually work. The stuff will come out of that height. I say that with a lot of confidence. I've not tested it on this build of the game, so it might not. It might completely call me a liar and go completely wrong. I don't know. But we'll find out. We will find out. The drawback to this system is that the actual grain mill is not going to produce enough animal feed to supply 2 pastures, let alone 4. So we will have to figure another way around that at the moment. I think that one farm could do it if it could output faster, which is something we can also do. We can also do that. I do think they also only auto output on the ground floor. Might be a thing. Not sure. Don't quote me on that one. In fact, let's find out. Let's find out, because that's what we're going to do now. If I try and build off the edge here, go along there like that, move those ones, and we can build another system here like that, and then we can put chutes in like so, and no, it won't auto output. That's a shame, but we don't need it to auto output because we have grabbers. Yeah, see, it comes out of the roof. It looks a bit weird, looks a bit daft, but it works. So now that farm is outputting twice the amount that it did before. Which is good, because that does mean that our barn, technically, when we clear this stone, we could turn sideways and have it feed 2 grain mills. It doesn't have to feed just the one, it can feed 2 of them. We could get it to do that right now. I think I'm going to give that a go. If I sit there, I need to clear out 1 block of stone. You know what? There is plenty of stone on the map. Let's remove all this stone. It does cost money to do this, but let's remove that stone. Let's go. Goodbye, stone. Right. And now, if we was to turn this barn around, clear that, and then grab another grain mill and put it there, and then just build out exactly what we've got here at the moment. That. That's not ideal. Putting 2 barns onto a single chute is not ideal, but then they're not outputting fast enough for any real things to worry about there. So we want to feed both of these, and we can do that by doing that. That will work, but I personally don't like the look of that. So what I tend to do is go into the mode and actually put in something like that, so it looks correct. You don't have to do that, it just looks better. And I'm also going to go down to the centre there because I can. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the splitter. The splitter, like I said, will place on a chute or belt, will turn its outputs in whichever direction. So we put a splitter down there, and it should... no, it won't. It won't feed either of these, because it's on a chute, and the chute does not have access to go left or right. I think if we were to put a chute like that, no, that won't work. That won't work. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to build a chute that way and build a chute that way. And in fact, you can do splittings with chutes without even having a splitter on it, which I was not entirely aware of. It looks as if it's all going one way at the moment, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. That's because of this here, where it's just coming out and stopping and then having to go, so it's not going as fast. Not outputting as quickly as I would like, but of course you can go fast on this. We could put in a one that feeds this barn directly, and then another one that feeds it's all possible. It's all possible to do many things with this. So if I put in a well, I could just put in a chute there. Let's put in a chute that way, and then grab a grabber and do that. And that grabber will then go and feed that grain mill. So, okay, we now have 2. We now have that grain mill being filled and that grain mill being fed. This design in the centre here would basically prioritise one over the other, which is not ideal. Can you put chutes onto conveyor belts? You can. Okay, so then if I put a splitter on there, it's not going to work because they're full. Right, so let's find out whether this system here does kind of work, which is easier said than done, but is kind of doable. In fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to order you to grab cloth and put it in the cloth barn. We don't have a cloth barn yet. Okay, so in the right. In that case, you are to grab that and put it in the barn, because I don't know why there was only 3 there. And then you are to grab that and put it in there. And you are to grab books and put them in the barn. And then we can give it to the school later. It's interesting now how workers can block wagons. Before they didn't, but yeah. And I have just noticed that this episode has just hit 45 minutes long, which is not my intention. I normally have them about half an hour long. So I'm going to bring that to an end, and we will see whether this wonderful contraption here works. It should do. It should work. In fact, I can actually show you it kind of working now. If I turn those two on, you oh, you already had loads of workers. Ah, okay. Right. It must have been working. It must have been working because there is no fertilizer in here. In either of those, there's no fertilizer. So it must have been working when I wasn't watching. I don't know if anyone saw that on the video, whether it was, but that's produced 10 wool, that's produced 10 leather, and obviously there is 1 leather on the conveyor belt there, I suppose. I can't see it, so I don't know. Yes, there is. You can just see it underneath that little orange bit there. There is 1 bit of leather underneath there. Oh, 1 bit of cloth underneath there. So yeah, that's good. That's very good. Okay. Right, so you're going to help with the paper thing. And we're basically going to use up all the leather we have and switch it over. But as I said, that's going to come in the next episode because this one's already been very, very long. So, yeah, we'll bring that to an end here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope to see you again next time. And until then, as always, have fun.